Imagine being in ancient Israel. You're a soldier, and you're lined up across from the Philistine army. The battle lines have been drawn. And then walks out this massive monster of a man named Goliath. Now, Goliath was 6 cubits and a span tall, it says. Now, a cubit is generally from the elbow to the tip of the finger, usually anywhere from 18 to 24 inches was the cubit. So this guy is at very least, 9 feet tall. Bigger than the mountain, right? Stronger probably too. Just this massive human being, bigger than Shaquille O'Neal. And he walks out and he's wearing this armor. It's called a coat of mail. It's these metal links all linked together, and it weighs about 125 pounds. And he walks with ease. No problem carrying 125 pounds on his shoulders. The tip of his spear is over 16 pounds, and he can throw it through the air without a single problem. And he challenges you and the rest of your soldier buddies, your comrades. And he says, whoever's your greatest warrior, send him out and we'll fight. Me and him will fight to the death. If you win, we will be your slaves. But if I win, you'll be our slaves and serve us. And for day after day after day, morning and evening, he comes out and challenges you. And even the most seasoned veteran shrinks back and is terrified. Even Saul himself shrinks back and is terrified. Even your king will not go out and fight this man. And you're there day after day after day. And then suddenly, one day, this little guy shows up. This little guy, David. And he's talking to the soldiers on the front lines, and his brothers are rebuking him. But he's saying, hey, who is this guy that's mocking our God? And why is nobody fighting him? And they mock David, and they kick him out of there. And David, he went to King Saul and he said, hey, I'll go fight this guy. And Saul tried to give him his own armor and everything else. And David says, this is too big. This is too bulky. I'm not used to wearing this. I can't fight in this. But David knew that God would spare him. And even more so, he would give him victory. It would be God's victory. And that's so often how God works. And imagine how these guys got to see this unfold. This little shepherd guy, probably a teenager, walks out with nothing but a sling and 5 stones. And he goes out to challenge this guy who's over 9 feet tall, probably twice David's height. And he goes out to meet this guy. And he doesn't just go out, he runs after him. He even mocks him before that. He says this day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you and take your head from you. And this day I will give the carcasses of the camp of the Philistines to the birds of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in heaven. David wasn't trusting in his own strength, but he knew the God that he served. He knew the God who created all things, including that man across from him, would give him victory. And isn't that the same in our lives? We face so many challenges in our lives, the toughest challenges, and we feel so small in comparison. And yet we forget that we serve the God who created all things, who created the entire world. That God is just waiting for us to have a faith like David's here, that he might give us victory. And that's exactly what happened with David. He gave him victory. This little guy sprinted toward the giant that is Goliath with a sling and 5 stones. He slung a stone, threw it at Goliath, struck him in the forehead, and knocked him over dead. Took Goliath's own sword and cut his head off and held his head up for all to see as well as he could. I'm sure that head was pretty heavy. But David wasn't necessarily the one that was victorious. It was David's faith that allowed God to work through him, and it was God who was victorious. And God is a victor. God is a warrior. Yahweh is his name, according to Exodus 15:3. God is just waiting to do a work in and through you to bring victory over the enemy. If you will have faith like a mustard seed, Jesus says, you can move mountains. Trust in the Lord God. He is the one who created all things, and he is just waiting for you to call on him. God bless.